It is time now to bring in our State House insiders, Antoine Seawright, our Democratic strategist, Dave Wilson, our Republican strategist. Guys, Governor McMaster's office says he's leaving the door open for the possibility of a alligator Alcatraz, similar to what Florida just built, to help speed up the deportation of undocumented migrants. Again, the governor saying the door is open to this, that he's in contact with Homeland Security head Kristi Noem. Antoine, what's your take on all this?
It's amazing how Republican leaders in our state will find dollars to prioritize foolishness, but will not prioritize the needs of people of South Carolina and how it impacts their daily lives. Instead of finding money to give government employees the rightful pay they deserve, putting money into public education, paying our teachers, paying downstream workers, making certain that rural, urban, and suburban of South Carolina reflect each other and grow at the capacity we need, and doing the things we need for South Carolina, the governor and Republican friends want to create an inhumane situation like in Florida, where people are living in second-class conditions, as those who visited the facility said. And that's the conversation we're having in South Carolina. It just proves further and further how we're sometimes so backwards and so far away from the target of what our priorities need to be.
We have been a nation of immigrants from the very beginning of this country. Ronald Reagan had a quote one time where he turned around and said, you go to France, you go to Italy, but you can never become an Italian or a Frenchman. But if you come to America, you can become an American. And that whole system seems to be screeching to a halt right now. And this is a place where I think, to Antoine's credit here on this one, you have Republicans that are chomping at the bit on this one right now because it's a presidential priority. The question that really has to come out is it the right priority for what the country needs to do and for what South Carolina needs to do? And I don't necessarily think that that's the case.
Dave and Jared, think about it. You think about South Carolina being a tourism state and what our hospitality needs are. You think about that we're a heavy agriculture state and what our needs are. I don't think you're going to see farmers or those in the hospitality business yelling and screaming, saying, build a facility because we need to deal with our migrant problem in South Carolina. What I oftentimes joke with Dave and say, the only border issues we have in South Carolina is those from Richland County trying to go over to Lexington County and those from Lexington County trying to come to Richland County. Those are the border issues we have in South Carolina.
They are, and the agriculture community has to have this level of workers to be able to meet the demand to make sure that our agricultural products are getting out of the ground and into our stores.
All right, our next subject tonight, the gubernatorial race. State Senator Josh Kimbrell, of course, he's running for governor, but now he's in the middle of a civil lawsuit accusing him of swindling millions of dollars from his business partner. Again, this is a civil lawsuit. Dave, is his campaign over before it really gets started good?
I don't believe the campaign's over before it gets started. I think what you've got right now is you've got a business arrangement that has gone awry. But as Senator Kimbrell put it in a statement not very long ago, when the truth comes out in all of this, he's going to be vindicated on it. It's ironic, though, that the lawyer who is over this particular case for the plaintiff side is the same lawyer who about 10, 12 years ago put a false claim out about Senator Kimbrell that ended up making a huge splash in the upstate. And so the question coming out right now is this political jockeying in place with certain folks within the Republican circles in the upstate of South Carolina? That's the real question we've got to ask right now.
I'm going to mind my Democratic business on this because I think the Republicans are going to draw political blood in this primary, and they're going to beat each other down, tear each other apart. I've heard similar stories like this about the senator from the upstate when he had a campaign or was trying to have a campaign before. So I don't think this is anything new. What I will say is that if this were Democratic allegations, I think the response from the Republicans would be different. But in this case, I think we have to focus on our priorities and let the Republican primary associates fight their priorities.
Antoine, Lee Johnson was running for U.S. Senate against Lindsey Graham, but now he says he's suspending his campaign and he's doing it for the unity of the Democratic Party. What's going on there?
I think that's safe. Look, I believe in unity in the Democratic community. Senator Graham will obviously be a tough race ahead. for anyone who becomes our Democratic nominee. But I think if we're strategic and thoughtful, we can give ourselves a chance of having a real shot at a 50-50 jump ball. Obviously, there's big change flowing all across the country, both in Republican circles and Democratic circles. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity in South Carolina to have a real conversation of what future leadership could look like. And so I'm proud of Lee Johnson for stepping up to the plate and doing what's in the best interest of the party.
So unlike Antoine, who will not stick his toes into Republican business, I will do this one into Democrats. I think the Democrats need to do everything they can in this particular cycle to spend as little money as they possibly can in a primary so that there's money set aside to go up in the big race that will be coming in November of next year with most likely Senator Graham or perhaps former Lieutenant Governor Andre Bauer.
All right, Dave, Antoine, guys, as always, thank you so much for your time. We're going to take a